I've said before, my weird conspiracy theory is that I do not believe Arkansas is a real place. Like, I know supposedly Bill Clinton was from there, and supposedly they were in the Trader States of America back in the 1860s. Pretty sure I've even driven through it. I mean, I must have, but I'm still not convinced it's a real place. I mean, have you ever met anybody from Arkansas? No, and if you have, they were probably lying, because who would admit to being from Arkansas? But if Arkansas was a real place, it would apparently be run by the shittiest people in the fucking world. Because there's a group, what's multiple people from Arkansas called? Whatever. Arkansans For Limited government. They decided that doctors' offices were getting a little bit too overcrowded when the entire Arkansas government decided that they wanted to be creeps and follow women into their OBGYN appointments, and decided they were going to do something about it in the form of a ballot initiative. Now, the state of Arkansas hates women. And to be fair, I can understand the sentiment since the female face of Arkansas is Sarah Huckabee Sanders. That particular woman is pretty hate-worthy. But the existence of Sarah Huckabee Sanders does not excuse Arkansas punishing the rest of its women for her existence, and it damn sure doesn't give them the right to make their healthcare decisions for them. So Arkansans For Limited government set out to clear the government from the doctors' offices so the doctors could get in there and actually do their job. But because Huckabee Sanders and Secretary of State Jim Thurston are fascists, they don't really like democracy, and ballot initiatives are the most democratic part of democracy. So they started trying to rig the system against ballot initiatives and the will of the people by upping the petition requirements from having signatures from at least 15 counties to 50. But Arkansans For Limited government were undeterred. They needed 91,000 signatures from 50 counties. They got 101 signatures from 54 counties. And they worked with their corrupt Secretary of State, Jim Thurston, every step of the way to ensure that they did everything to the book. Now, Huckabee Sanders and Thurston thought that they'd already rigged the system to make it impossible for a ballot initiative to be successful. But since Arkansans For Limited government did the impossible, they decided that they were just going to go back to the old reliable way of winning: cheating. And Secretary of State Jim Thurston just threw out their petition. And Suckabitch Sanders and Attorney General Tim Grieg gloated about it in Twitter posts. See, Thurston said that they didn't submit the paperwork documenting their paid canvassers, and therefore everything was null and void. One problem: they did submit the paperwork. Want to know how we know? Because a bunch of fascist Christian nationalists used the Freedom of Information Act to pull that very paperwork that they said they didn't submit, so they could go out there and dox those canvassers by publicly posting their names and home addresses. Even what Thurston is lying about and disqualifying this whole thing based on didn't even invalidate all of the signatures. 86,000 of the 91,000 signatures needed were collected by unpaid volunteers. The paperwork, which they submitted multiple times by email and hard copy before the deadline of July 5th, would have only disqualified signatures collected by those paid canvassers. Can you imagine hating your constituents so much that you'd be willing to pull this kind of unethical bullshit just to keep it off the ballot? It's not even to change the law, it's just to give your citizens the chance to vote on whether or not they want the law changed. That's how much they hate freedom and voting and the rights of the people. And every fucking one of them should be thrown in prison for this. But Arkansans For Limited government are not giving up yet. They're hiring lawyers. They're going to fight this tooth and nail to do everything they can do to get this ballot initiative on the ballot in November. So share this far and wide. Let's bring the pressure to let those fuckers who run the make-believe state of Arkansas know that this corruption will not be tolerated. And help Arkansas join Colorado, Maryland, Florida, South Dakota, Nevada, and New York in putting women's rights to bodily autonomy back on the ballot. Also, if you're from Arizona, Montana, Missouri, or Nebraska, organizers are working on similar ballot initiatives there, so get out there and support their efforts as well. Because these are the ways we, the people, can make real change.